Hi, greetings Earthlings. My name is Tonia and welcome to WizdomDropz. Today we are discussing the new moon happening on January 13th of 2021. 2021. This is a new moon, as you can see here on the screen, happening at 23 degrees of Capricorn. So by the end of this video, you're going to have an overview of maybe some themes you can expect to play out in life over the next 2 weeks to a full month after January 13th of 2021. So mid-January to mid-February, okay? Before I do jump into interpreting this chart and seeing kind of what stands out, just a quick invitation, if you resonate with this content, with this channel, I put out videos every day of the week, so you can subscribe. If you are into that, we are here. And when you hit the bell notification, you do receive a notification when I upload daily, so you know the video is there. Also, I invite you, if this video brings you any value whatsoever, to hit the like button because it helps other people get this content and really just gain access to it. Last but not least, I am available for readings. If you are interested in my services, I am available for booking those. See the email in the description of this or any video for more details. Okie doke, let's jump into it. So basically this new moon, as I said, is happening at 23 degrees of Capricorn. And like you've seen in all of our interpretation videos, what we first do when we look at a new moon, or a full moon for that matter, is look at what planets are in communication with the moon itself. And that's going to tell you a lot about the flavor or the condition of the moon's experience. And seeing as this is a new moon, we're talking a new beginning. So new moon equals new beginning in relationship to Capricorn themes, okay? And then we learn more about that based on the planet or planets that moon is in conversation with. So before we get to this Neptune sextile you see on the screen, let's just dissect a little bit, get to the core of what a new moon in Capricorn means. A new moon, new beginning in Capricorn could relate to themes of time, themes of tradition, themes of systems, themes of governments, themes of power and power achieved through time and dedication and legacy, themes of inherited culture and what is classic in nature, themes of accomplishment and hard work, themes of, worldly accomplishments, okay? These are all themes that there's a new beginning on offer to develop for you, for us as a collective, okay? So there might be a new beginning within the government, for example, as a whole. There might be a new beginning within your personal legacy and what you're building out in the world as a reputation, because that is also Capricornian. The scale is what you make of it. It's however you end up experiencing it. So with that said, if you're looking to gain more information about how this is going to manifest in your particular chart, the quickest and easiest way to do that is to determine which whole sign house Capricorn is in charge of, or is in your chart. So if you're a Scorpio rising, for example, using whole sign astrology, okay, this new beginning would be in your third house because it is in the sign of Capricorn. Therefore, all of these new beginnings of Capricornian nature I just briefly overviewed would be happening in relationship with third house themes. Now, your sign is not necessarily Scorpio, so figure it out for yourself. If you want me to do your sign and a forecast for your sign, you can leave a comment and I will go ahead and consider and most likely do that for you. But with that said, as I said earlier, there's a sextile between this new moon and Neptune. You see that? Between the 23-degree new moon and Neptune at 18 degrees of Pisces, there's a sextile. So that implies that there's some type of a benefit to be had, or some type of a gift or alleviation force on offer in relationship to divining and in relationship to spiritual retreat and spiritual themes in general. Spiritual forces could be a force of alleviation from what is otherwise a rather tense lunation event. And why is this a tense lunation event? Well, when I remove off of the moon itself, holy guacamole, what are all these red lines? That, my friend, is a malefic square, because look at all these freaking malefics involved in this not so fun party. Mars is here, first off. conjunct Uranus. That can't be entirely good because Mars is the god of severance, the original OG god of severance, before Uranus or Pluto was really like super talked about or anything, you know, in astrology. Some people would say discovered, but before they were used in astrology, Mars and Saturn were the original gods of severance, okay? Mars cuts like a knife, like a sword, okay? Mars brings fire. Now, Uranus, a modern so-called planet, is the ruler of lightning, is the ruler of electricity gone wild. Uranus is the ruler of explosions. So in this chart of this new moon, new beginning, we have the planets, the gods of explosions and knife cutting, conjunct with a Uranus-Mars conjunction with a 4-degree orb of separation, 2 degrees to 6 degrees in the sign of Taurus. Put that on a shelf for a second and look down here. What are they squaring, y'all? Freaking Saturn. Saturn and Pluto, or excuse me, Saturn and Jupiter are squaring this Uranus-Neptune conjunction. Now, this is more to be concerned about right here. Saturn at 3 degrees square Mars, 1 degree orb of separation, cannot be the best energy. Even if it is the best energy, it comes with a price. It comes with a challenge. It comes with a distinctly unpleasant event or circumstance around it, because these are the gods of malefic energy. In original OG astrology, the original malefics were Saturn and Mars, and they're in a square. Square aspects are even more volatile than oppositions. Oppositions tend to manifest more psychologically, more relationally, okay? But when you have a square, you have energy that's manifesting out in the real world, manifesting in a very real third dimension sort of type of way. So Mars square Saturn could be power struggles against the system, Mars power struggle against the system, Saturn, okay? And an awakening force, like an awakening power struggle, because Uranus is the awakener. So it's in an earth sign though, and to an air sign, which is interesting. So there's an earth component with this Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, square this air component with this Jupiter-Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So you have social justice for the earth written all over this. There might be some big earth rights or earth justice thing that comes to the surface. I hope so. It's about damn time. With that sort of energy and a sort of call to network, Aquarius, Jupiter, Saturn, okay, to network around such causes. Or there might be a viral social media post calling for reform and calling upon our moral values of even like philosophical or moral righteousness, because Jupiter is involved in better dignity than he's been in for the last year in Capricorn, you know. But Jupiter is square Mars, so there's an action being asked. There's an action on behalf of philosophy that's being asked here to take place, because Mars is the planet of action and Jupiter is the god of philosophy. You see how that works out? Uranus is the planet of awakening, so some awakening of that. And Jupiter is, you know, the god of morals, more or less, if you want to think of him in those terms. So there's some sort of moral call here. And Saturn is, of course, in the best dignity it can be in, according to Vedic astrology here, in the sign of Aquarius. So it's in a better sign than Capricorn, Saturn. So when Saturn is in Aquarius, it's really good dignity, and Saturn is, you know, still in the square, which is not fun for anybody because it's still Saturn, and he's in these tense conversations with the god of severance, Uranus, and the god of cutting off, Mars. So, you know, there's tense energy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. The new beginnings on offer are really being supported by Venus and Capricorn, believe it or not. Venus and Capricorn, you know, look at the chart. Those are the primary blue lines, you know, is between Venus and Uranus and Mars. So while this signature is rather explosive and rather liberation oriented, perhaps in a higher vibration, with the Uranus being present and Mars being a motivation to that Uranian energy, there's a soothing energy here to be had, not only through that Neptune with the sextile to the lunation itself, which, mind you, is conjunct Pluto. We haven't even talked about that yet. 1 degree orb of separation. Hello, got to talk about that. But before we do the alleviation to this pressure cooker madness that is the new moon on the 13th of January, believe it or not, our saving grace is Venus in Capricorn. Now, Venus in Capricorn is a fuddy-duddy energy by some people's standards. It's very traditional. It's very orthodox. It's very play it safe. It's very close to the chest, so to speak. It's very classically oriented. It takes pleasure in the most tried and true of things. It takes pleasure in stability instead of adventure. Venus in Capricorn takes pleasure in pearls and tradition. You know what I'm saying? It's not pleasure of a new variety or a cutting edge variety in any way. It's the tried and true and kind of like wah, wah, like you really like librarians. No offense to librarians, but that is literally kind of a Venus and Capricorn energy. And so this energy is kind of like supporting and almost leveling out this madness that is this Uranus-Mars conjunction in the sign of Taurus. You see how that works out? So maybe focus in on how to bring value to the classics in your life, or how to bring classic energy into your life in a way that is honoring your elders, Capricorn, Venus and Capricorn, honoring the way things used to be, okay? Classical energy, Capricorn energy, Venus and Capricorn energy. That would be a suggestion, but let's get in on this Pluto thing for a second, because that's going to be a good way to alleviate the tension. You see how that works? But what's up with this? The new moon is with Pluto. That's insane. Why is that so big of a deal? Well, Pluto is also considered a malefic, and Pluto is 1 degree off of exactitude with this new moon. So their new beginning is in relationship to Hades energy, Pluto. The new beginning is like resonates with the god of the underworld. It's almost like a new start from a place of death, because Pluto is death. It's the modern death planet, whereas Saturn is the original death planet, you see. So I think Pluto is calling for us all to get into our inner phoenix or our inner homicide, you know. No, really though, joking though, it's like Pluto is calling for us to come into don't go homicidal. It's calling for us to go into our Phoenix energy, our Scorpio vibe, and really just kind of pull out the best that we have to offer in the face of death. Because with Saturn entering Aquarius, it is a whole new era, and we just had the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, not but a few weeks before this moon. So this is almost part of the solidifying of a new beginning here of this Aquarian age, because the dispositor, aka the planetary ruler of the new moon, is Saturn, and Saturn in this chart is, yes, in Aquarius. So while the new moon itself is in Capricorn, that doesn't really matter, because the ruler of Capricorn is in Aquarius, also ruled by Saturn. So in other words, it's still just the process of bringing the Aquarian era that we're embarking on for a minimum of 20 years. But really it's from that place of death and psychological transformation. And so this new moon conjunct Pluto is really saying, hey, you know what, from death, there is new life to be given. And I think that's a pretty interesting spin on all of this. Watch out for tension in terms of systems and structures and governments in the news, definitely. And this could be some form, it could take an environmental spin real quick in where our consciousness is, I think, and where our systemic approach to environment, and also, things of currency, because Taurus rules value. So currency, there could be even a digital call for currency that just blows up in the media mid to late January, because Uranus rules advancements in the sign of Taurus, the sign of money and possessions, squaring all this Aquarian energy of this new era, signature Jupiter-Saturn, right? Squaring this urge to renovate, this urge to innovate, this urge to advance, Uranus. So that was a pretty juicy little nugget. Subscribe if this brought you any value whatsoever. Always put video requests in the comments down below. Like this video, lick it, like this if it brings you any value, because other people will get access to it. So that's groovy. Share the wealth of knowledge for free 99, all by hitting the like button. Even if you hit the down arrow, it still helps the channel grow, believe it or not. Jokes on any trolls. And with that said, thanks for the support. Thanks for the good vibes. Through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.